Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of reverse a little bit. Sorry about that. So what I was saying is, we had already talked about what we want this to turn into. It's going to be a little bit more about case studies, showing you how it's done, building it with you, as opposed to showing you what's already pre-built. So that way you can see kind of how I do it on a regular basis. Because it's great to see, hey, this is the end product, and look, it makes for great entertainment. There's nothing more fun for me than going to somebody who I've never seen before and then watching them build something from zero to $10,000, or scaling their business from nothing to their first six figures. It's fun. It's entertaining. We live vicariously through that because we want to be that person. But the truth is, the way that I learn is through example. So we went to school and the teacher showed up on the board and they did examples. So we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to start today a little bit. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes or anything in chat. Make sure, can you hear me? Crickets. Cool. Thank you so much. I just want to make sure I wasn't still talking to nobody. Okay, so today we're going to be putting in chat, and I want everyone to give me an idea of a particular niche that you want to get into, or anything really. We're going to make a brand together, and this brand is what we're going to be using to build out our first case study. I'm going to show you how to build out a website. I'm going to get that website running. I'm going to actually do all the SEO for the website. I'm going to show you how to do the first ads, get some sales on it, and I'm going to be giving that away as a part of what we do. So I will not hold on to any of these websites. I love what I do. I don't love the order fulfillment side of e-commerce. So once we get started, I will do a drawing, and it will be given to somebody who is, I say active, someone who's an active member, somebody who actually has either shown up, had a conversation, liked one of the posts. It's not somebody who's like here, like, oh, rah, 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 go Joe. Like, that's not what I'm all about. But I'm not going to give it to somebody who signed up one day and just hasn't done anything with this since. Like, that doesn't make sense. So while we, and I plan on trying to do this like once a month. So as we're doing this, go ahead and start putting some ideas in chat. I'm going to be talking about some of the basic things that I do. And then we'll go in, we'll pick out an idea for like a particular product, like if we want to do one product store, a particular product, a particular niche, or if we want to go to the general store, if we wanted to build a funnel and do that. However we want to do this is going to be an actual brand. It's not going to be like an e-commerce store. It has to be an AliExpress product. We can do absolutely anything you want to do. And we'll figure out a brand, we'll figure out a name, we'll create a logo, we'll do a website. So keep that in mind. I'm going to get into this in about 5 to 10 minutes. Once we're done with kind of how I think about brand names, we'll get into the content. I'll pick a niche based on what I'll do is I'll take any ideas that I get, I'll do a quick random number generator, and then I'll pick the one that the number pops up on. So when I'm doing this, branding takes time. So what we do on the call today will likely be scrutinized 4 or 5 times over. It's never perfect the first time around. And I will probably change the name. I mean, I was thinking about changing the name on multiple businesses, but like, every time that you come up with an idea, you have to be flexible that it may not be the perfect idea, because it's not. We're not perfect. There's always somewhere to improve. So one of the things that you can do as an individual is remember that your first idea is not your best idea. It's just your first idea. Don't get overwhelmed by the fact that you have to be perfect, that this has to make sense, that you can't make any typos, that you have to be on point with your message right away. You can go back and look at all the different logos, all the different slogans, all the different corporate messages that big companies have gone through. So think of a company that's been around for 50 plus years. They've evolved over time. You will evolve over time. Your time frame may be accelerated because 50 years ago, Not everybody even had, I have to be careful at this point, people were getting TVs, but let's say 60 years ago, not everybody had a TV in their household. If you had one, you were probably considered a little bit well off. As technology increases, the way that we adapt increases, and the speed at which we adapt increases as well. This just explains the last 100 years, we went from being unable to fly to being able to send people into outer space. So before that, though, we spent 100 years just destroying the earth with coal and trying to figure out how to make gears work, right? So remember that the further we get into this technology, the faster it feels like it changes, but you adapt so much faster too. So don't be afraid to change your brand a month or two in if you think that it's holding you back, and to always think that there's something better out there for you. There's always a better name. There's always a better idea. There's always a better something. Okay, there's always a better mousetrap. Hey, Tina, welcome to the call. So don't get fixated on one particular idea. When I start, the first thing I do is I open up Google. I'll go to Google, and let's just say we pick let's do technology. Tech. I'm going to look at all the different names. The Verge, Mashable, TechCrunch, USA Today, CNET. Oh, we're going to keep going. Tech.co, BuzzFeed. So I'm finding out the tech.org, GeekWire, Extreme Tech. So what I'm looking for is any kind of consistency in words that are being used, because this tells you what works. Again, when I did the product research methods, I went to Google and I typed in things, right? Well, I'm doing the same thing here. And why do we do that? Because if you are on the first page of Google results, something's working. We're not here to reinvent the wheel. We're here to take the wheel and put it on something better. Figure out the first step in good SEO is picking a good name that has a good top-level domain available. There's not many of those left. If you're struggling, you can go to a portmanteau generator. And what a portmanteau is two separate words crunched into one. You can use abbreviations. You can use letters and numbers. You can use double vowels to make a sound or a word. You can make things up. But what I wouldn't try to do is, if you see everyone using geek and tech, I wouldn't try and be nerd blog or nerd tech. Nerd's not popping up. If you're trying to attract the tech crowd, nerd may not be the word to use. And I think part of this is because a negative connotation on nerd, whereas geek is somebody with a pocket protector that's making a lot of money. Nerd is somebody without a pocket protector in their parents' basement playing Dungeons and Dragons in their 30s. I don't know for sure, but I wish I could do that right now. I miss playing. So it seems to me that tech and geek seem to be the two most used terms in the top pages here. And that's okay. That's because I looked for tech. So geek would probably be the way to go. And then I'll go over to thesaurus here. So find the thesaurus, technology. We need to find a different word for tech. Nothing. Robotics. So I wonder if geekbotics is available. I know it's going to sound really silly. It's just, I go to whois.com to see if that's available. It's not available. But that would have been a pretty decent name. So like robotics, technology and robotics are pretty synonymous, right? I'm just taking a suggestion from chat. There you go. Maybe you want to sell robotic toys to kids or parents, or maybe even adults. There you go. Anyone want to take that up? Go ahead, gobble it up and have fun with it, right? I try and avoid the .clubs, the .us, the .net, the .org. I try and find something with a .com. If I think the name is absolutely impossible to pass up, a .co might work, but I try and avoid the rest because the suffix that you use actually has some value and some predetermined meaning. Whereas like a .org is supposed to be for an organization, for a nonprofit. A .net is way back when. I'm not going to even jump into that. .club, .us, you're in the US. I wouldn't make a .mx.co because I'm not in Mexico, right? There's a couple like XYZ would be great for a personal brand, but not so much for a company. This is still like one of those. And .us.com, don't bother. Avonics, only $12,000. So when you're doing these things, it's not like there's no shortcut. But if you're stuck, right? So if we're stuck, I go to Shopify. They have a business name generator, and it doesn't do anything crazy. So let's just go to robotics. Cold Fusion Robotics is actually a pretty darn cool scientific name, but it doesn't do anything crazy. It just spits out the same information pretty much for everybody based on a seed word. So like if it were a tech, I bet you we could probably find Cold Fusion Tech or Science. Tech. Oh, Tech Diary, Tech Destination. Hey, just glad that you're here. Glad that you're here. So I use this if I'm stuck, but I start with Google and then I go to Thesaurus and then I check domain registration and then I'm done. Hopefully I'm done. And the first, second, third, and fourth iteration are probably not perfect, but we kind of go from it. Like we went from Geekbotics to Geebotics, and maybe it's Geeky Robotics, and we got a little robot with a bow tie and a pocket protector. Who knows? Like these are just ideas, but this is how you start a business when you have no idea what you're doing, right? You shoot out ideas and you hope you see what lands, and then you start actually advertising ideas and see if it works. Techbotics is definitely not available. That's okay. So real quick, I am going to kind of put a cap on this. We're going to do 3 more minutes, and then I want you to put in chat any kind of niche, any kind of store, any kind of idea that you want me to brand with you today. It doesn't have to be a physical product. It could be it could be you. It could be your product. It could be, I know Jeannie's looking to do a blog. It could be about that. And once I have all these ideas, I'm going to take the ideas, I'm going to do a random number generator, and we're going to run with that idea. Whatever idea gets picked, we're going to make into our case study. And then once we have gone through, I've shown you how to do everything, I will give it away to one of our students. So this is not so much for me to have content. I can do this all on my own, I promise. This is so that we can do this together, and then I can give something back. It's more fun that way for me too. So this is for me. Who am I kidding? I have more fun when we're able to interact. So don't overthink this part of it, right? This is the part where you're just looking at and you are trying to get an idea of what the top people in your particular chosen idea are doing. It's not, I know it's going to sound silly, but if you're thinking really hard about this, stop, walk away. I don't ever tell somebody to go have a drink, but stop thinking about it. Go have a drink. Go meet up with friends. If you're not a drinker, go out and go on a date with your significant other. Stop thinking for a little bit. You go take a really long hot shower and think in there. And when you're out, you're done. You won't have time. Don't think about it till the next day. Okay, I can't say that because this is going on YouTube, and I'm not going to put that on YouTube. I'm not allowed. I'll get demonetized. But keep in mind that if you're overthinking this, just stop. It's okay. You don't have to force it. My favorite line, And I use this, and this is a metaphor. Good ideas are like a fart. If you have to force it, it's probably shit. And that's the last word of wisdom you get from me. I'm going to go through, I'm going to put some numbers on these things, and the numbers are going to start from the beginning of the call. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so we've got 11 different ideas. And if you don't know you can do this, random number 1 to 11. 3. All right, so it went fashion, that special hair towel, spirituality. So we're gonna be doing spirituality. This is gonna be a really, really difficult one for me, but we got this. All right, so first off, we're gonna just type in spirituality. Define what it, number one, define what we actually mean by this, okay? So let's start this, define spirituality. So the quality of being concerned with the human spirit as a soul, as opposed to material or physical things. So we have to make sure our message is on point with this here. Because if we just decide that we're going to pick anything with the name spirituality in it, the other words that we use with it, or because spirituality.com is taken, right? Whatever brand we build with this, it has to make sense. And I'm going to use a very, very obvious example here. We're not going to say atheist spirituality, right? Atheists don't believe in the spiritual. They believe that once you die, it's over, it's done. And that's okay. Everyone's allowed to have their beliefs about this. We're not going to talk about religion. We're just going to talk about the spirituality aspect of it. You wouldn't go and find the atheist spirituality niche because it doesn't exist. And you don't want to use the word atheist with spirituality unless you are talking about how atheism kind of contradicts spirituality. So what we're going to do, and I like that idea, I like where you're going. Let's start with, because we have some ideas in chat about going to .coms. Let's go through the method here to see what we find, because our fast brain is saying, let's use spirituality in it, let's use spirit in it, let's try and make it sound like something. Let's go and then search spirituality and then find out the domains that are coming up, and then see if we can find any common words that are being used in each one of these domains so that we can find a good common name for us. And what you'll find is that most people are searching for this information and expect a particular name or a particular word or some kind of level of thoughtful construction into your brand, because you wouldn't buy a spirituality book from Awesome Gadgets R Us. No. So let's go through here. Psychology Today, Wikipedia, of course. Loner Wolf, Positive Psychology, all about spirituality. Reachout.com, Taking Charge. No, that's HuffPost. Essential Life Skills. Canyon Ranch, Conversation, Spirituality, Health. Pocket Mindfulness. To anyone who knows me, I don't have the best memory right now, so mindfulness, psychology, spirituality. Just writing down a list. Oh, essential. All right, spirituality and practice. Very well. Wow. Live and Dare. Goop. Sure. Good. Gaia. All right, we're going to go through one more page, because watching me read through these is probably like watching paint dry. But the truth is, you've got to do this the right way every time and give yourself an opportunity. Humanity. Ooh, humanity stream. All right. And living. So I have an idea of spirituality using the top 6 pages of Google. This is what shows up that kind of sticks out for keywords. Mindfulness, psychology, spirituality, essential, well, good. I did take out Gaia because I kind of know an idea of what that means, humanity and living. So real quick before I do anything else, I just want to define Gaia so I know exactly what we're looking at. It's the Greek goddess of earth, recent review. Yeah, so I think spirituality, I think that's kind of that's a stretch. So humanity and living. So we've got mindfulness, psychology, spirituality, essential, well, and good are great words to use for like a description or describer of these words, humanity and living. So let's go up to here and then let's just type in spirituality and see if we come up with something else, right? Incorporeality, otherworldliness, and unearthliness. Nope. Psychology. Did I spell that wrong? Yes, I did. Science of the mind. I don't really like much of that. I'm going to put way down here therapy. Okay. And then mindfulness. Again, so alertness, diligence. Okay, this is giving us a whole lot to work off of. Conscientiousness, concern, consideration, concentration, circumspection, caution, carefulness. Vigilance. Spiritualvigilance.com. Boom. Spiritualvigilance.com. Okay, so mindfulness is something I'm not good at, right? Take this over here. We're going to define mindfulness. Okay, the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. A mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness. So vigilance and mindfulness are going to be pretty close. So the action or state of keeping careful watch for possible dangers and difficulties. Vigilance. So spiritual vigilance might be a stretch, but let's go ahead and so I'm going to hold on to that. Vigilance, spirituality. Okay, well, I've got 2 now that I like. I just want to let you know that usually your cup does not run over like this. Usually you are like, okay, so how can I make this really work? So this is working great. So mindfulness. So we've got a couple of other ones I want to check because of the what we put in chat. Spirituality. Spirituality. I think we're going to have to put this, though. Spirituality. We'll put that on the list. And spirituality. We're going to play with that. Okay. Something I would just like to discuss real quick. I don't like having hyphens in my top level domain, and that's the .com whatever. Just adds. You know how difficult it is to type a hyphen when you're just like typing. I have a hard enough time with my sausage fingers typing in anything. To have to stop and think about where the hyphen is. It's just one more thing to stop us. So let's go ahead and see if we can find one more good name. Can someone give me a positive adjective in the chat, because I'm just struggling to find something that would mean like good. Well, you know what? Here, good. Spiritual prosperity. Okay, that's enthusiastic. $2,200. How about vital spirituality? Instead of vital, enthusiastic. Let's go ahead and put enthusiastic. I promise when I'm on my own, I don't talk out what I type. I swear. Okay, so real quick, this is what I was talking about. A negative connotation word. Even though enthusiastic means that like you're excited, I'm like manic is actually a very negative connotation word, but I decided to use it because the technical definition of it is to show extreme mania, excitement, or happiness. Like rabid. You don't say, "Oh, that's a rabid dog." Like, yeah, hey, I want to go pet that dog. You're like, "Oh my god, it's a rabid dog. I'm gonna call the animal warden." So while it does mean something similar to enthusiastic, it carries a negative connotation that we wouldn't want with the word spirituality. But maybe if I were like the persona that I had was that I was actually absolutely bonkers, the rabid marketer wouldn't be a bad idea. But mostly it's just I'm happy to be doing this, and I shouldn't be this happy to be doing marketing. So we're going to go back to good, because enthusiastic isn't given us strong synonyms. Well, it's worth a try. Let's go to greatspirituality.com and see if that's available. Probably not. Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to find one more. Spirituality Prime. Boss Spirituality. Let's go to positive spirituality. So there's a reason behind this. Super spirituality. We could try it. I think that sounds a little bit like super churches. Hey, somebody else agreed with me. Super church. Clear or confident? We'll try these last two, and then we're going to go to it and start talking about it, and we'll pick a name. Clear? Nope. Confident. I have to tell you, I thought that this would take this amount of time. So confidentspirituality.com. That's why I'm doing these more. I expected this to go up to 6:30. I can't believe that we found 5 in that time. I'm going to put the 5 in the chat. So what we found was spiritual vigilance, vigilant spirituality, spirit totality, spirituality, and confident spirituality. So we were able to incorporate spiritual in every single one of these, and it's going to help us for SEO purposes, because our top level domain is about spiritual or spirituality, which is what our page is also about. So it just gives us one extra bump in the SEO category. So inside the chat, take a look. Let me know which one you like of the 5, and I'm going to take a vote on it. So at the end of this call, I'm going to take a look, see who. All right. See who our winner is. So there's a possible 10 votes. I'm not going to vote on this because we're not here for my vote. We're here for your vote. And then what I would do, and we'll make a logo for this another time. What I would do though is probably go spirituality, and we go images, and I would probably find an image to me that speaks to spirituality. So like, this is your chakras. Why do I know that? This, not bad. Okay, Okay, everybody is definitely on a different page as to what we should do. But I seem to, I would probably pick something along the lines that look like chakras, so maybe these lined up, or maybe them, in a, I don't know. I'll figure something out. But we want to figure out how we can show that we're spiritual in our logo, as well as on our website, what colors to go with. And I would think that with spirituality, even though I tend to stay away from yellows because yellows are very off-putting, especially when you have a web page on a phone and let's just say you're laying down at night and all of a sudden you see this yellow web page and then the entire room lights up like it's the morning again. But yellow is definitely the color that you would see in a morning sunrise. So kind of makes sense for spirituality. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll do it together. We'll do it together, friends. So far, we've got 4 votes, and it looks like they're all from, I didn't think that one would get 2 votes. Good on it. And it's a portmanteau of totality and spirituality. Very good. So while you guys are making your votes and casting your votes and not paying attention and doing other things, let's ask some questions about anything. Anything related to business, drop shipping, e-commerce, product research. Looks like we have a pretty solid winner at this point with 3 of the possible 10 votes. So you let me know what you think, and we'll cool. Okay, so question: should we promote this time of year for dropshipping? So you're in a weird spot. If you haven't planned for dropshipping for Chinese New Year, then you're probably going to hear me say no, even though you should. I typically like to scale back. Don't stop all the way, just scale back. Turn off at the ad level, not the ad set level, but scale back. If you're doing 500 a day, maybe go down to 50 a day until probably next week or week after that. What I like to do in the past is US only, because if it's on AliExpress and it's a US option, it's through somebody who's obviously working in the United States, you're fine. Contact your distributor for your big seller. So you never know, just because it's Chinese New Year and they're expecting some 800 million of their people to be traveling. There's a lot going on right now that's stopping people from traveling. So just reach out to your biggest seller, your distributor, that would be the one doing. Let's just say that you're selling a shirt off of AliExpress, and you reach out to your distributor for that shirt, and you say, "Hey, are you currently shipping during the Chinese New Year?" And they'll tell you, and they'll say, "Hey, look, we are here. However, this is how we usually ship, and we won't be able to ship that way until this date. But if you want to pay an extra $2, you can ship here." So, this is where building a relationship with your vendors is so important. If you don't do that piece of the puzzle, what's going to happen is you're not going to have someone to talk to and ask these questions. And it's super important to your business to know these people. Unfortunately, they're why you're in business. Them and your customers. You exist to connect the two. Any other questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts? If you don't like spirituality, you definitely need to start casting your vote to another one of the options. So, quick aside, everything that we're doing, we're trying to build up into something a little bit better. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's showing up to these. I hope you're learning from them. I hope that this part of it is helpful. Remember that building your foundation is never as exciting as seeing, the entire building built. If the first level of of a pyramid looks nothing, but the entire pyramid looks beautiful, right? But it would be nothing without that first level. So, any other sources that I use for drop shipping besides AliExpress? Drop shipping, not so much. I tried some of the American companies, and the margins on those are just absolutely ridiculous. We're talking about like $2 or $3 before advertising. So if I wanted to build up SEO and build up a great site that way and have a back end that has some great upsells, I would do it that way. But it's so hard. I would sooner, instead of using a US-based drop shipper, I would sooner use Alibaba and get a bulk order of something and then have my own distributor and be my own, drop shipper, so to say, and just have the distributor. I paid them to do all the shipping, and yeah. So that's the crazy thing. You actually pay more. You pay a fee as to be a part of these places, and like I could do it for with AliExpress with higher margins, same product quality for free. It's ridiculous. Being in the United States and trying to sell in the United States with anyone but AliExpress just doesn't make any sense right now, for margins. Now, if you have a high ticket item and you get your universal sales tax code licensing and you become a vendor, that's different. And you can drop ship through that company as a vendor, that's the way to go. Especially if you can make a margin of $400 or $500 per sale. And you'd be surprised how easy it is to sell a high ticket item. There's a little hint. It's all about trust. And guess what? Selling low ticket items is all about trust. So you're actually, if you can get the barrier to entry for a high ticket item is higher, and that's why people don't go after it. But the ability that you need to sell it's almost no different. I mean, think about it. If someone sees something they want and you have it and you have a better price and the same shipping, aren't they going to go with you? Because if someone's buying, let's just say a stand-up paddleboard, okay? If someone's buying a stand-up paddleboard, they're doing their research, and if you come up as one of the best values with the lowest shipping speeds, like the fastest, they're going to buy from you if they trust you. All right, so let's flip it on its head and let's talk about dog seatbelts, right? If you have a dog seatbelt and you have one of the best prices and they trust you, they're going to buy from you as long as you have good shipping. It's no different. But if they don't trust you, they're not buying from you. Okay, that's a great little tip. So guys, take a look at chat. I don't do shout outs for companies because, well, I don't work with them. But if you have questions, I can tell you that the person that is saying that is reputable. And I trust them. So if you are in the pet industry, go after that. Definitely a good idea. I haven't seen anyone say anything other than Spirit Totality. We're going to go on and do that, and I will register that domain tonight. If one of you boogers goes and registers it, I'm going to have to pick a different one. And yes, we're all boogers here. That's what I call my kids. Regardless of age, if you're a student, you kind of get the same treatment when it comes to being family. My sister's a booger, my brother's a booger, my kids are boogers, my wife's a booger, my parents are boogers. Solomon. He's one of your admins on the in the group. Absolutely, it's a term of endearment that I reserve for the people that I care about. Do we have any other questions, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts? Because if not, we're getting off this call and we're calling it a night. Well, I'm calling it a night with these calls, but I got other calls to do. And just be like, what? You're early? No, you're never early. Funny story, I never used to be early. I always used to be 5 minutes late to everything. 5 minutes late to everything. And then one of my bosses is like, Joe, says, yeah. He's like, you ever want to get promoted? Yeah. You ever heard of Lombardi time? Nah. Either 15 minutes late, that's on time. You're on time, that's late. If you're late, don't ever be late. To me, that's him saying, if you want to have a job, you'll be here on time. If you want to get promoted, you're going to be here early. Ever since that point, I was early. I got promoted. They always thought I did a great job. I said, you know what? And I chalk it all up to this jerk telling me I had to be 15 minutes early every day. All right, everybody, get out of here. Have a great night. Friday, we will go into and start talking about what we're going to sell with a spirituality niche, because guess what? I have no idea. But I know there's somebody on the call who can help me out with it. So I will see everybody Friday night. We're going to do this again at 6 o'clock. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.